It's really nice to
Hi.
see you again.
Great to see you too.
So I wanted to revisit the conversation we were having last time together.
Yeah.
Just around some of the the pieces around whether it was anxiety or discomfort. You had done a lot of work currently on your school's campus.
Yep.
There's some issues happening.
Yep.
Brings up a lot of emotions, but
Yeah, a lot.
you had particularly mentioned after the the march that you had organized, you started feeling kind of down about how things had progressed.
Yeah. Yep.
If you could just tell me more.
Absolutely. I feel like I feel a lot of responsibility, and I feel very vulnerable stepping into a leadership position. I feel a lot of fear that somehow I'm making my classmates angry, or they're not liking the fact that I'm stepping into a leadership role. But I'm just feeling very vulnerable and uncomfortable, and I think anxious, but I'm not really sure about taking on a leadership position and whether I deserve that position and who asked you to do that. And there's just a lot of negative, I don't know, it's hard to tease everything apart, but that situation is definitely bringing up a lot of strong feelings for me.
Well, I wanted to know if you'd be comfortable with actually, doing something today where we can work a little bit on teasing some of that apart.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, because it's all kind of jumbled up.
Yeah, so I was thinking what we could do is actually just kind of to walk through a little bit of the scene after kind of the organizing has happened.
Yeah.
We're going to take a little time to actually walk through a course of events and for you to sort of get in touch with those different feelings you were having.
Yeah.
And you're feeling comfortable with that.
I feel totally comfortable with that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to think about like what was like the most upsetting,
Was there a conversation that happened?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, there was a conversation that happened at the event itself where I could tell that this person seemed to be giving me the cold shoulder.
Okay. Was this a person that you value his or her
this
opinion?
this is a classmate who I definitely respect a lot, and I could tell something was up, and I immediately was flooded with like, what did I do? Like, what did I do wrong?
Right.
Yeah, definitely. That was one of the more upsetting moments of the day. Yeah.
Okay. So what I'd like to do is actually kind of go back in time, per se, to that moment where you were having this interaction with your colleague.
Okay.
And just kind of walk through how it made you feel physically, sort of what was running through your mind, just so we can kind of tease out once again.
Yeah.
What actually this is stirring up for you.
Yeah. Okay.
So I want you to close your eyes. We'll take a deep breath. We'll just ground ourselves here.
Okay.
The point is not to get too heavy into this. Okay. Just to feel nice and relaxed. But for you to take a moment and think about the day and sort of all the energy that went into that day.
Yeah.
I want you to bring yourself back to that moment where your colleague comes up to you and...
Yep. I came up to her, actually.
So you came up to her.
Yep.
And you were, obviously, there was a lot of energy from the whole event as you had described to me.
Yeah.
And it probably wasn't the response you expected. Am I correct?
Yeah, it was, I'm trying to think how it started. It was like, I feel like I went up to her and was like, hey. And it was kind of like, hey. Okay. And immediately it was like, oh, I'm feeling like I'm getting shut down. I feel like this person is like really shutting me down and something is like not right between us.
Okay. Were you expecting it to be a different type of...
I was already anxious about this person and how they were relating to the organizing.
Okay.
So I was already kind of bracing myself for a problem, and this was like confirmation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about why you were bracing yourself for a problem?
Yeah. I was kind of thinking that she wanted to help lead the organizing of the event, but pretty quickly she kind of like retreated into the background, and that tipped me off. Like maybe I said or did something wrong, and I wanted to reach out to her, but I didn't. So by the time we actually got to the event, I was already aware that there might have been.
So there was already unspoken tension.
Yep.
Around the two of you.
Yeah.
And you were very cognizant of this tension.
Yeah.
Okay. So, so she comes into the picture in that moment. You approach her. Her response is very much not what you'd hope for, probably.
Yeah.
Wow, this was great. Let's, possibly turn this into some sort of collaborative work. As you were saying, I know this was an event where there was a lot of people, a lot of moving parts you had described to me.
Right.
And in that moment, sort of what, if you can bring yourself back and thinking how your body's feeling.
Yeah.
What were you feeling in that moment inside?
Let's see. So I say hi, and she's like, hey, and I think I just feel in my heart, it's almost like I go cold inside. It's like my heart feels like icy, and my stomach feels, cold. And it's like some stuff around here too, just almost like just sensation. Like I can just feel my shoulders. Yeah.
Okay, so there's, I'm hearing coldness.
Yeah.
It's really a physical sensation.
Yeah.
It's something, and even looking at your face right now, it's feeling, I'm looking at your body too.
Yep.
Not only sort of that feeling, that sensation of coldness, but would I be correct in saying it feels heavy too?
Yeah, it's more like, it's like tight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And just a lot of fear. Like thoughts are running through my head like, oh my God, she's so mad at me. Like she's definitely mad at me. I can tell.
Okay. So I'm hearing, fear. There's a physical sensation that sort of that almost contracting. Were you able in that moment? These are a lot of different things you're experiencing on a very visceral level. Were you able to respond in that moment to her?
I just basically walked away. It wasn't a hostile kind of walking away, but it was like, I felt pushed away. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I kind of, rather than, I certainly didn't stay and be like, hey, what's up? I was kind of like, okay, the message that I'm getting is you need to kind of like get away from me.
Right.
Which I did. Yeah. Yeah.
So it was an immediate feeling of a retreat.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to open your eyes for a minute here. Take another breath. Yeah. Seems like a lot here, and I'm hearing, as far as the teasing out of what you're experiencing.
Yeah.
I'm hearing you describe it as fear.
Yeah.
And it was something that made you immediately retract.
Yeah. Definitely. It was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a feeling that
I need to get away from it.
Did not feel good.
Did not feel good. I needed to get away from it. That's definitely true. Yeah, that's important to get in touch with that fact that I didn't feel, I don't want to be in this situation anymore.
Right.
It kind of feels good to get a little bit of clarity on that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, if we want to dance with the idea of sort of fear or anxiety, sort of how that translates into, the somatic sense of what it does to our bodies, even to the mind of like how we're able to communicate.
Yep.
In a situation like that.
Yeah, definitely. I was not in a frame of mind of like, let's chat.
Right.
It was more like, I need to run away.
Yeah, and I know
it was
from
the flight.
Yeah, and I know from previous conversations, it sounds like you are a very gregarious person.
Yeah.
You put a lot of energy out there into your work, and so it seems like this
is unusual. Yeah, it doesn't happen that often that I feel that pushed away by someone, and it definitely seems to trigger something really deep.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, kind of from that imagery of us kind of going through this together, thinking
Yeah.
about that moment. I'm wondering if we can kind of imagine once again, and then I'd actually like to go through a scenario where we try to hash this out in a different way.
Okay.
Okay, if you'd be open to that.
Sure.
But I'd like you to imagine a situation where, I know we've talked over the past few weeks too about ways to sort of cope when, big feelings come up.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm wondering if you could, sort of going back into that moment,
Yeah.
where you're getting the response of basically like a hand.
Yeah, I like that. It's definitely like,
Right, like, no,
Fuck
I'm
you.
not even, yeah,
Yeah.
fuck you,
yeah,
pretty much.
yeah,
If you could go back to that moment, if you can close your eyes again, and
Sure.
you're imagining that fuck you
mm-hmm.
moment, and is there someone in your life you're able to conjure up in your mind, someone who has been a source of great strength for you in your life?
Yeah, someone just popped up actually.
Okay, great.
It's one of my meditation teachers that I go sit with every year, and she's someone that I think of as just very wise, and she has a good sense of humor.
Okay.
Christina is her name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Christina.
Yeah.
All right, and I'm seeing you're seeming a little lighter right now.
Yes.
You have a smile, nice big smile on your
Yep.
face.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's have a lot of admiration for her.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to imagine, if you can go with me here,
Mm-hmm.
you're in the same situation, and also even the same day.
Yep.
Right? But Christina's been there this whole time. She's got your back. Right?
Yeah, that's funny. She's usually up on definitely like a teacher
Okay.
pedestal, so it's
Okay.
quite amusing to
Yeah.
think of her like
Right.
in this scene. But
Right.
okay, so I'm there. I'm seeing my classmate, and then
And she could even she
Yeah.
could be behind you. She could be beside you.
yeah, I almost see her like over on the
Okay.
other side of the priz, kind of just observing this
Okay.
taking place. She's there.
Okay.
Yeah,
But you and it's Christine.
Christina.
Okay, Christina. You and Christina have made some eye contact.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
And she gives you this look,
Yeah.
right? And then you hear her in your mind say something. What would she say to you at that moment?
Okay. Let's see. She's definitely. She sees the other person's pain and suffering, and she sees she's kind of like, okay, I see that you have worked really hard, and I see that this is painful. And she's kind of like, you and I both know that sometimes it's like this. Like we can't control what others are bringing. There's so much that others bring. This other person brings a whole universe that we can't know. Yeah, so she just has this, I feel like she's bringing this really big perspective,
Right.
which makes sense because the teachers, that's what they try to really kind of orient us to that.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing something here pretty loud and clear, actually. I'm hearing, when we talked about it, and we've mentioned this before, sort of the way that we have our core beliefs,
Yeah.
sort of these foundational beliefs that we've grown up with often,
Yeah.
that really help or hurt the way that we kind of walk through the world, the lens that we see the world in, right? The schemas, the thought patterns that we have about who we are in this world.
Yeah.
I'm hearing a big one loud and clear right now about control, about being able to control the outcome of things, right?
Yep. And
whether
she's
it's-
saying, nope,
Yep,
it's not up to you.
right. And so it seems like this situation with this colleague of yours really stoked that fire for you, stoked that, possibly that, like, you
I'm responsible.
Right.
You know, this is about me.
Right. Like, I need to control all the pieces of this.
So that she doesn't get upset.
Exactly. Including how the event turns out, who shows up to the event, all the pieces, how everyone feels, and then how she responds to me.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. And definitely Christina is sort of like, I don't know. It's a little harder for me to see her now, but yeah, she's very much like, hey, the world is full of sorrow and mistakes and joys and successes and you know, it's almost like
right. Well,
and it's funny, it's funny too that she came up because she is a woman in a position of power and leadership, like literally on a pedestal on these meditation retreats, and I know that she gets criticized actually.
Oh, really?
This is really interesting that she came up. Yeah, because she as a teacher does end up hearing like people's criticisms of
her.
You could have run this better, right? You could have taught me better, or you need to protect me from this. And in order for her to do her job as a teacher, I know she can't hold on to that. I know she has to let everybody have their experience. So it's interesting that she came up.
You can open your eyes and come back here a little bit. Thank you for sharing all of that.
Yeah.
Sounds like this is a really important person for you.
Yeah.
So I appreciate
it's such
you.
a resource. Yeah.
So I am hearing a couple different things. We, talked a little bit about the control piece, the sort of, and where the fear comes into that, maybe the fear of disappointing, potentially. That could be an offshoot, could be connected. But I am still curious about sort of that, the physical sensation that you've had, which, and once again, when we were talking about someone who brings that levity to your life, I mean, I really could see it in you. So...
Yeah, could feel the difference.
And, I always tell my clients sort of, these are resources for you. Christine is a resource for you.
Yeah.
Whenever you need her, right?
Yeah.
We do this imagery here, but you can really take that outside of here as well and bring her into situations, because it seems like she's a real force for you.
Yeah, definitely.
So, well, I know I've been putting you to work here today. And I appreciate your willingness to, try all these different, modes out of just kind of working through some of these things. I mean, I think do you feel like I'm hitting some of the pieces for you?
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Especially just the responsibility, putting it on myself.
Right.
Yeah. That's definitely, I think that's a big part of what's been going on. Yeah.
And is sort of the fear piece, the responsibility, is it a fear of letting someone down? Or is it yourself?
I don't know.
Is it a standard?
That feels like such a big thing to explore. I feel like I don't have clarity.
Right.
But definitely the idea that somehow this is on me. This person's feelings are on me. That feels pretty clear. Right. That's a schema or some kind of core thing that I have going on.
Right.
That when I let it go, I feel an immediate relief.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not even so much of that, I mean, in some ways maybe control, but that it's up to you.
Yeah.
You need to take that on.
Yeah.
It's your I am responsible for all of these pieces.
Right.
Yeah. So lastly, what I want to do, and then I'm really thrilled we're going to be able to continue working together after today.
Yeah, me too.
Because I think we've got a lot of great goals moving forward. But one of the last things I wanted to do today was to try to run through this scenario once again.
Okay.
We've imagined, or we've kind of gone back in time and looked at that situation, how it's made you feel.
Yeah.
On a physical level, and also what that translates to.
Right.
Within your thoughts. And then kind of bringing in that image of that individual, that sage individual who's that figure in your life. Maybe that figure who you maybe strive to be more like.
Yeah.
Right?
Most definitely.
Yeah. Right, in the way that she handles the waves that come
Yeah.
in and out in life and
Yeah.
the challenges, right?
Yeah.
But I do want to work on it a little bit in the sense of doing a role play. Of
Okay.
I am going to be your colleague.
Okay.
You know, we're going to be at the event.
Okay.
Kind of some of the bigger pieces of the day maybe have subsided, and we're just
Okay.
sort of there together
Yeah.
in the crowd, and you come up to me,
Okay.
and I'm going to give you sort of my response, and
Yeah.
instead of maybe let's try this out a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe try out something different as opposed to
Exactly.
running away.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Right? Maybe to try on a little bit of a different hat here.
Yeah. I'll try kind of like if I really believe that it wasn't about me and
Right.
it wasn't on me, how would I engage?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That feels like something that would be different.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
If it's not about you, and taking Christina's advice
Yeah.
into play here.
Sure.
Okay.
Cool.
Because we know what it's made you feel like on the other side.
Yeah.
But I'd like to explore a little bit how it could be different.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds
Okay.
interesting.
Okay. So wow, that was a big day, huge event, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, what did you think of it? I've been curious what you think, because I haven't heard a lot from you, in the days leading up to this, and I
Right.
wasn't sure why. And, you're definitely somebody that I consider, that you're a colleague that I really respect and admire, and I was kind of thinking that you would be more involved,
Right.
so I guess I was a little bit worried.
Yeah, I really just didn't, have the time to put energy into it.
Yeah.
So, and I really got to get going, actually. But yeah, I mean, I think it was good. I think it was a good event.
Yeah.
But
Well-
I don't know. I don't know what the next step is.
Yeah, me neither.
Mm,
Me neither.
yeah. So, okay. I guess, maybe we'll organize a step 2, but I don't know. I don't know if I can be involved.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. I don't know exactly where it's heading either, but I'm
Right.
glad you were here.
Right. So it seems like, in pausing for a minute, like, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. It
Okay.
feels good to kind of intentionally say, yeah, I don't know.
Right.
Because this is not my show
Right.
that I'm running.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's not really giving you a lot of anything.
No.
She's kind
Which is accurate.
Right.
Yeah, which
okay,
is
so
accurate.
good. I portrayed.
Yeah, you were
accurately.
accurate.
Okay.
It's very opaque, right? Not a lot
Right.
of
right.
coming forward, but kind of
Right.
nonverbal signals that maybe something's off.
Right.
And it was interesting because in this role play, I feel like I had a choice point where I could have been like, what's wrong?
Right.
You seem blah, blah, blah. But I think also I was sort of like, if you need to go, you need to go. And you and I are colleagues, so it's not like we're like best friends. And
Right.
if you're not ready to share what's up with you, then that's fine.
Right. And that felt good.
Yeah, it does feel good to kind of disentangle myself a little bit
Right.
from again being responsible for her feelings.
And to let go of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we don't realize how tightly we hold on to our schemas.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
to
it's
these,
so ingrained.
right? It's just part of who we are.
Yeah.
And those reactionary moments where we might not even be aware, but sounds like in that moment you were able to let go of that.
Yeah.
And that felt good.
Yeah, it felt good. Thanks.
Nice. Great. Well, my suggestion is come back in 2 weeks and let's continue this conversation.
Great.
Yeah. You're doing
Sounds
some
good.
really great work, Ellen.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, take care.